We've been in Motherwell, Scotland for the last 2 days sharing the gospel, singing and preaching in the churches and witnessing on the streets. Behind me is a gigantic oak tree that's over 800 years old. This oak tree is important because it's called the Covenanters oak. Now, the Covenanters were a unique group of Christians in the mid-1600s who covenanted together to reject the control of the Church of England over the Church of Scotland. They insisted upon biblical preaching, faith for salvation, and supremely that Christ is the head of the church, not the King of England. This beautiful oak tree behind me is a place where the Covenanters would come and worship. They no longer could worship in the Church of England because they rejected the teaching and the doctrines of the Church of England, and they were thoroughly reformed, and by that I mean they accepted biblical Christianity. So they had to go out into the wilderness, and in many places they worshiped in caves, they worshiped in rock outcroppings, or in this case they would often find giant trees and worship under them. Now, one of the reasons this is fascinating to me is because on my mother's side, our family was Scottish Covenanters. This uprising among the Scots started in 1638 and went to 1688. In 1666, my mother's family had to flee Scotland because of the intense persecution, because they had accepted and were the Covenanters in the Presbyterian movement. They had to flee to Ireland, where they would live for a generation and eventually move to America. So the Scottish Covenanters are a unique group of individuals. Over 20,000 of them were martyred in a very short period of time, and others were hunted and had to leave their homeland, many of them winding up in America. The Scottish Covenanters' positions are very biblical. One of them is that there is a separation between church and state. That position, of course, is the foundation of our American democracy. So I was pleased when they told me today, you've got to come and see the Covenanters Oak and see one of the places where those wonderful Christians, many of them whom were martyred, worshiped and tried their very best to serve God.